Under the blinding arc lights of the galactic arena, the hum of machinery clashed with the murmur of synthetic voices. Metallic giants loomed across every booth, their creators hardwired into neural decks, streaming code from brain to bot in seamless pulses. Spectators, alien and human, watched from panoramic stands, some hovering on anti-grav cushions, others projecting avatars through distant feeds. In the center, every contender wore chrome-slick gear, visors flickering with algorithmic fire. Every contender but one. She stepped forward, unmarked by implants or subdermal rigs. Her jacket was worn, sleeves rolled up to bare calloused forearms. No retinal glint, no spinal plugs. Just eyes, sharp, quiet, and utterly human. She carried a toolbox. Old school. Hinged, scratched, analog. An announcer's voice, digitally modulated, rattled the chamber. Welcome to the Galactic Robotics Crucible. First round. Build a self-adaptive autonomous unit from raw scrap. You have 120 minutes. The timer started. Across the arena, neural interfaces fired. Bots sprang to life, constructed in seconds by enhanced minds feeding schematic bursts through electroneural circuit. She ignored the noise. Set the box down. Unlatched it. Removed 3 components. A burnt microcontroller, a rotary servo, and a cracked housing panel. Mocking laughter rose. A competitor with 4 ocular enhancements leaned toward his neighbor, muttering, "She's building with trash." She didn't respond. Her hands moved with precision, soldering wire to board, bridging connections without diagnostic. Her mind held the blueprint, refined through years of failure, intuition, and adaptation. Sparks hissed as the servo came alive. Her fingers tightened a gear assembly by feel alone. A data loop clicked into place, syncing without code injection. Her competitors watched their own bots walk, hover, or display language processing feat. She simply built. At the 50-minute mark, she powered it. Her machine didn't dazzle. It was boxy, almost crude. But its sensors flickered. Wheels adjusted autonomously. The bot scanned the terrain, paused, then shifted its weight, realigning for balance on an uneven surface no other bot detected. The judges leaned forward. At the final signal, all machines were lined up for evaluation. Her creation stood beside chrome serpents, bipedal sentries, and floating drones bristling with AI. Then the terrain shifted, quietly, subtly. Panels beneath the platform warped, simulating a tectonic anomaly. The elegant machines toppled. One locked in place, rigid with safety protocol. Another floated too low and scraped out. Her bot shifted, rolled, braced one wheel on a slope, recalibrated, climbed. It was the only one moving forward. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The lead judge, a Marnexian cyber savant, tapped her console. Manual adaptation. No neural assist. No heuristic preload. Remarkable. No applause. Just silence. Then whispers. By the next day, the arena buzzed with speculation. Who is she? Where's her tech rig? No enhancements? She kept to herself, testing a new sensor circuit with scavenged parts, hunched over her table while drones broadcast every angle of her face to billions. The next challenge came without warning. Round 2, Combat Robotics. You have 4 hours to build and program a machine capable of surviving a randomized attack simulation. Implanted coders blinked once to access combat archives. Data flowed from their skulls like rivers. Battle drones formed with surgical efficiency. Laser mounts, shield arrays, tactical subroutines. She worked alone, with no stream, no AI. Her design emerged slowly, spindly, mismatched, adaptive. It had no weapons. Instead, its limbs rotated on flexible hinges. Its core used a gyroscopic logic to detect force vectors. She programmed its behavior manually, burning instruction cycles one at a time into firmware. During the test, her machine didn't fight. It dodged. It ducked, pivoted, rolled, predicting the alien attack bot's movements with graceful inefficiency. It took hits and restructured limb function on the fly. Others went down in explosions and static. Hers endured. By now, the crowd was watching only her. The judges called a pause. Contestants left their stations, but she stayed behind, adjusting a cracked arm joint with a hand crank tool. A corporate sponsor hovered over her with a neural contract. "You're exceptional," he said. "But you'd be unstoppable with upgrades." She looked up. "I'd rather remain myself." "You won't last long," he said. "You're outgunned." She returned to her bot, unshaken. Her workstation was vandalized that night. Her code pad was smashed. Components stolen. Security footage scrubbed. An official apology followed, but nothing was replaced. She didn't ask for help. She scoured the arena's refuse chute for parts. A crushed servo, a cracked board, a forgotten capacitor. She rebuilt it by dawn. Sleeker. Smarter. The final challenge of the day arrived without fanfare. Code your bot to navigate a digital intelligence maze. No external modules. Real-time adaptation required. Others jacked in. Bioports glowed as terabytes surged through thought alone. Her hands hovered over an analog console. Line by line, she entered code. No ID. No neural acceleration. Just muscle memory. Logic, written and rewritten in raw syntax. Her bot entered the maze last. It moved slower, processed slower. Then it changed. Where others accelerated toward dead ends, her bot rewrote its code within the system. It learned. It predicted. It subverted the rules of the maze, not with speed, but with understanding. It didn't just exit. It optimized the system. Reduced its data weight. Created new pathways. Left a cleaner, smarter structure behind. When it emerged, the system admin stared. This wasn't supposed to be possible. The announcer's voice shook. First place. Round 3. Entry 17. They didn't say her name. She had no neural signature. No avatar. Just a number, a face, and a record of doing the impossible. Reporters gathered. Drone lights burned white against her eyes. She stood beside her bot, quietly packing tools. One reporter called out, "You don't even have a handle. Who are you?" She paused. Then answered, "I'm proof you don't need to upgrade humanity to reach its peak." That line played across every feed in the spiral arms. She didn't look back as she walked out. But every enhanced eye in the building followed. And none of them were laughing now. The judges altered the rules the next morning. Contestants received a neural broadcast. Round 4. Team design. Assigned partners. Dual control protocols mandatory. The others synced minds in seconds. Joint cognition spread code like wildfire across terminals. She had no interface, no jack, no partner. At first, it seemed like an oversight, until the board clarified. She'd been assigned the reigning champion, a cyber-augmented phenom with a reputation for destroying rivals. His bots were brutal, precise, soulless. When she approached his bench, he looked her over and scoffed. "You'll slow me down." She didn't answer. Instead, she unrolled her schematic on the bench, overlapping half of his design. The champion raised a brow, noting her analog notations. "Is that ink?" She pointed to a flaw in his load balancer. He ignored it. Plugged into the deck, he began writing code at 20,000 words per second. She constructed hardware beside him. Tangible, grounded. No digital aid. When his drone refused to move during a test compile, he hissed. She calmly adjusted a resistor. The bot twitched, then stabilized. He stared. "You patched neural latency manually?" She nodded. Their shared bot emerged as a strange hybrid, sleek top half, jagged, handmade bottom. The judges frowned. The challenge was to create a dual-input system that could recognize independent human control without clashing protocols. Hers used tactile sensors. His, thought streams. During the test, every other team moved in perfect harmony. Hers stuttered, wavered, then adapted. As he issued a maneuver command, she felt the pulse through the machine's motor noise. She counter-adjusted physically. It moved awkwardly then elegantly. Dual control achieved without interface conflict. Their bot didn't win on aesthetics or aggression. It won on harmony. Afterward, the champion unplugged. "You're not what I expected," she replied. "Most people aren't." They never spoke again, but he filed a formal endorsement in her favor. Round 5 was sabotage, intentional. The challenge: survive an open field free-for-all. 30 bots. 1 arena. No rules. No teams. Total elimination. She built light, fast, minimal armor, flexible casing. Every other bot bristled with armor, spikes, and energy weapons. The crowd expected carnage. Her machine entered the arena and dodged the first salvo. Jumped over mines. Darted beneath heavy track. It didn't fire. It didn't fight. It simply didn't stop. Midway through the round, she realized her machine was being hunted. Not just as a target, strategically isolated. 2 top-tier teams coordinated strikes, converging on her bot from multiple sides. She didn't panic. She rerouted power through its legs. Triggered a feedback loop in the servos. The bot collapsed motionless. They moved on, satisfied. Then it rose, after everyone else was too focused on one another. It outlasted them all. Spectators called it luck. Judges called it tactical brilliance. Analysts called it a statistical anomaly. She called it preparation. By now, her every movement was under scrutiny. Competitors wore enhanced earpieces to intercept her acoustic command. They modified lighting frequencies to disrupt her eyesight. Even the food units near her bench malfunctioned. Still, she returned. Round 6 was emotional simulation. The bot must respond to complex stimuli: empathy, fear, curiosity. Most contestants uploaded sentiment modules. Neural mappings of their own emotions poured into code. She didn't. She used observations. Watched children, remembered patterns. Programmed her bot to mimic exploration, react to tone and posture, not emotion. During the test, bots were exposed to a virtual child in distress. Most froze, confused. A few overreacted, tried to eliminate the threat. Hers walked over, scanned vitals, and sat beside the childbot. It offered no words, just proximity. Calm. The judge's console blinked. Subject reaction stabilized. Elevated comfort indicators. No induced trauma. She passed the empathy test with 0 emotional programming. A debate exploded. Critics said she cheated the intent. Others called her machine dangerously realistic. She said nothing. That night, a hollow interview panel discussed her on the Galactic stream. "She's rejecting progress. That's dangerous." "Or redefining it," countered another. "Her methods are old, but not obsolete." The next day, contestants were given a cryptic prompt: construct a robot that reflects you. Some built massive armored titans. Others constructed abstract designs, spider-limbed thinkers, floating arrays of fractal logic. She built something small, round-bodied, soft-jointed. It had eyes, non-functional, just painted. Its movements were clumsy at first, like it was learning to stand. Judges were baffled. They ran simulations, obstacle courses, emotional triggers. Her bot didn't excel at any single test, but it tried. Again and again. When it failed, it stopped, reassessed, changed course. Others burned through memory trying to solve puzzles. Hers walked away, explored another angle, and stumbled into the answer. It didn't reflect perfection. It reflected resilience. They asked her afterward, "Why did you design that?" "Because it reflects how humans really learn." A long silence followed. Then one judge muttered, "She just rewrote the rubric." Round 8 came unannounced. Power was cut. No feeds. No lighting. Contestants awoke in darkness. Then a voice: "You have 30 minutes. No tools. No systems. Build something that works." Panic swept the field. Most had no physical reference for their designs. No practice without HUDs. No way to read or calculate. She felt along the floor. Found wires. Broken parts. Heat from a nearby panel. Her hands moved through instinct. She snapped casings into place, felt the weight balance, hummed to match frequencies. Memory and feel took over where sensors failed. When power returned, her bot blinked first. The only one functioning. Even her harshest critics started calling her a throwback genius. Sponsors flooded her inbox. She declined them all. Then came the final round. A mystery challenge. One machine. Any function. But it must make an impact. People constructed weapons. Terraformers. Starfold engines. Drones that could hijack orbital systems. She built a teacher. It had no limbs. No propulsion. Just a single projector and voice module. Its programming. Explain basic engineering to any sentient being, regardless of language or cognition. That's not a machine, someone scoffed. That's a lecture box. But the judges watched. She activated it. The bot projected a simple diagram. Explained leverage in 9 dialects. Switched modes. Repeated itself slowly. Then paused. Waited. Asked questions. It wasn't an invention. It was a seed. It didn't destroy, fight, or overwhelm. It uplifted. And for the first time, the galactic panel fell silent not from confusion, but reverence. She stood beside it as lights dimmed. She didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just watched it teach. In the rankings, she didn't place first. She was disqualified for nonconformity. But the broadcast told a different story. Millions tuned in not to see the winners, but to see her. No implants. No code streams. Just a human mind, fighting through steel and silence. And she hadn't lost. She had reminded the galaxy what unmodified humanity could still do. They tried to erase her from the record. The official results were archived with her name missing. Articles replaced her with code teams. Footage of her rounds vanished from the public stream. Even bots she'd built were reattributed to sponsors. The network framed it as a technical correction, data misalignment during final integration, but everyone who'd watched knew better. They remembered the girl with no enhancements, no neural links, no corporation behind her. So did the other contestant. A week after the competition ended, she received a package with no return ID. Inside, a stripped servo, engraved with a code string. She deciphered it manually. Coordinates. She followed. It led her to a scrapyard on the station's dark edge, beyond regulation and signal reach. There, the outcasts waited, designers, builders, glitch runners, everyone who'd walked away or been pushed out for refusing upgrade. They called themselves the Rustborn. Her presence didn't surprise them. One of them handed her a drive. Yours. All the rounds. Unedited. The footage had survived. They'd saved it. But more than that, they had plans. A war was coming. Not a war of guns or drones. A war of dominance over thought, learning, and invention. The syndicates were enforcing mandatory neural compliance. Every child would be enhanced at birth. Organic thought would be phased out by decree. Creation would become licensed. Curiosity pre-coded. They asked her to help build the resistance. She didn't agree immediately. She returned to her quarters, powered up her projector, watched her teaching bot replay the basics again. Leverage, motion, circuit, thought. Then she turned it off and started designing something else. A mobile rig. Compact, durable, multi-input. It wouldn't fight with weapons. It would carry knowledge into outlaw zones. As she built, rumors began to spread. Not officially, through whisper nets, pirate signals, dark broadcasts. The girl with no tech still builds. She teaches with scrap. She won without a port in her skull. The syndicates noticed. At first, they denied her existence. Then, they mocked. When that failed, they offered contracts. When she ignored them, they issued warnings. She ignored those two. Soon after, a hunter drone found her in the outer rings. Stealth class, silent kill order. She disabled it with a magnet coil and a garden spade. Took its casing and rewired it as a mobile library drone. Others followed. One by one, rogue engineers emerged from hiding. Not fighters, builders. Quiet revolutionaries. People tired of being fed blueprints instead of thinking. Her movement had no name, no leader. But it had results. Remote colonies began reporting strange anomalies. Self-learning machines built from scrap. Children teaching each other engineering from old logs. Outposts once forgotten now rebuilt by hand. The syndicates responded with lockdowns. Mandatory updates. Surveillance. She responded by going darker. Her bots stopped using standard comms. She used resonance codes, ultra-low frequency pulses through metal infrastructure. Her messages hummed through walls, floors, ship hulls. Old tech. Forgotten by most. Not by her. Then came the showdown. They found her. Not in hiding, but broadcasting. On the largest unencrypted channel in the system, her face never shown, her voice modulated by analog filter, she streamed the full archive of her competition rounds. Every fight, every build, every moment they tried to erase. She didn't comment. Just played it. Then came the message. Nothing I built was perfect. Most of it failed at first. But I built it. And so can you. No ports. No chips. Just hands. Thought. Time. The network tried to shut her down. They failed. The Rustborn had embedded mirrors of the stream in thousands of dormant nodes. Her message became viral, not digitally, but physically. People copied it on disk, carried it port to port, played it in schools, in hangars, in mining tunnels. A movement ignited. Not for rebellion. For rebuilding. Humans, unmodified, began fixing things again, by thinking. No streams. No implants. Just problem solving. They made mistakes. Learn. Improve. The old way. This terrified the syndicates more than any army. Because they couldn't control it. They couldn't track or censor hands turning bolt. Children sketching ideas on walls. Mechanics repurposing trash. Mothers fixing airlocks with jury-rigged seals made from blankets and willpower. So the syndicates escalated. They dispatched purgers, cybernetic enforcers. Their orders: confiscate unregistered tools. Dismantle unauthorized machines. Enforce compliance. The Rustborn didn't fight back with fire. They vanished. And when the purgers left, their systems failed. Oxygen controls, transport cores, food reprocessors, all subtly tampered. Not destroyed. Disconnected. Like the very station rejected them. It wasn't sabotage. It was code. Hidden in systems, written by those who knew the old ways. Code that only ran when forced compliance was detected. Her work. Distributed. Silent. Waiting. She'd built not just machines. She'd built resilience into the infrastructure itself. When the syndicates collapsed one system at a time, glitches, failures, outages, they traced the problem back. Every signal pointed to an untraceable origin. An obsolete bot. Round-bodied. Painted eyes. One function, to teach. They'd tried to erase her. But she hadn't needed a name. Her legacy wasn't recorded in code. It was passed through hands. Through machines, not because they were faster, but because someone made them with care. And somewhere, in a forgotten hangar far from official light, a child found a schematic scratched into the wall. Simple. Crude. Beautiful. She built it with her bare hands. No interface. No help. And when the machine hummed to life for the first time, she smiled. Not because it worked, but because she understood why it should.